And now for our next speaker is an expert in the fields of DTM processing, geodetic survey using aviation and GIS, and he is also a business expert specializing in China and Southeast Asian regions, including Hong Kong. So please welcome Mr. Gathang Shadania with a warm round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for everything, for organize this event. IGNFI is very happy to be here, and we hope to find some collaboration with Korean company also. First of all, I will introduce IGNFI, who we are, our scope of work, and some project references to show you the full scope of geographic information can be covered. IGNFI is a company specialized in geographic information, of course, but we cover the full scope of geographic information. Why? Because our history is made by IGN, which is the French mapping agency. We cover the full scope for French territory of geodesy, data acquisition, data infrastructure, mapping, development of thematic portals, implementation of land information system. I see that we have a customer here, they know very well us, and training. To come back a bit about the history, so my colleague from Austin Survey spoke about Napoleon. The first map in France was under Louis XIV. It was the Cassini map, and it was maybe 30 years before the Survey. It's just a joke. For kidding. Before everything, IGN was a military survey, belongs to the Ministry of Defense in the 80s. In 67, it became an administrative body. So the main goal of this strategic choice was to centralize all the data, all the know-how about geographic information in France. The goal of this is what we try to convince a country today to do, is to avoid any duplication, to keep the know-how in one agency, that every ministry, every public body from a country can come and pick up the information data, geographic information data. In 86, IGN created IGNFI, which is a private company with public shareholder. We can consider IGNFI as the technical operator for overseas projects. Our job is to go overseas to pick up the expertise in France and to transfer it to a developing country. Quickly, so you see that we are mainly in Africa and Middle East. We start to, and we would like also to develop a bit more our job in Asia and in South America. IGNFI is only 27 employees, technical and I would say business. But IGN is more than 2,000 people. You have to understand that we are going fast, we are very reactive because we are 27 people. And we come to pick up the expertise in the French mapping agency. You know that now the French territory is quite well mapped, and the production of the map, of the geodesy and the cadastre is running by itself. So that's why we have available experts to come all over the world. This is the team of the regional director I'm part of, and company representative based in each country. Good morning. I would like to thank you too for the invitation. Our philosophy is to work with local companies. For us to understand a country policy is to go through local economy. Local economy, that's why we have representative in each country. We don't have an office in every country. We only work with local company. To introduce you our shareholder, so the main shareholder today is the Geofield Group, which is the biggest surveyor group in France. Of course, IGN, which is the public body through the Ministry of Environment. ESRI, that I don't have to introduce ESRI. IMAO, which is aerial photography French company. And Altereo, It's like a water management system company. Okay, so all of those are our shareholders. Our sectors, as I told you, we cover the full scope of geographic information. We can divide it in 6 parts. Cartography, which is our ancestral job. The main job we used to do is cartography. We work also in agriculture and forest, of course in cadastre and land registration, which is today our main activity. Civil defense, risk management, and borders. I will go further in detail for each part and show you some case study. So, you know that today the mapping industry is running very fast. There is a lot of open data. Everybody can map everything. Google is the first mapping company today. But what we do is like we work with countries to make sure they have their own data. For us, it's very good. We have to let them understand that the data belongs to them. It's not Google to tell them, okay, you have a road here and so on. Each country must have his own data. So for example, one of the first projects I want to introduce, I will be quickly just an introduction for each project. If you have any question, of course, I will be available after to respond. Was in Gabon. In Gabon, we didn't make the national geometric plan, but we were as a supervision company, consultancy, to put every minister under the table to let them understand that they have to share information. It was a national decree from the president to ask IGN to come, put everybody on the table, and to make sure to avoid any duplication, for example, to make sure that 2 ministries will not buy satellite imagery at the same time, to make sure that one agency will keep the data and the know-how, to make sure that Gabon people can be able to do the mapping and the update by themselves. In Mali, it was an updating mapping of a scale of 200,000 scale, sorry. The thing is, like the previous map of Mali was made by IGN in the 60s. And make a map is a big job, but to update it is the biggest job. So this project, actually, it was with Airbus, Spot 6 imagery. It was, I think, the first national, the full country made by Spot 6 at that time. But once again, our philosophy was to make sure that the job is done by local people. This is our add value today in IGNFI. We don't come to say, okay, we do this and after we leave. Inside the project, we hire a lot of local people from the ministry to make sure they can do their own job. We did the same in Burkina Faso, and we support Bangladesh also for the baseline mapping, which is one of our main main know-how in France. And you can see also we have some other projects in Haiti, in Benin, and in Luxembourg. Okay, before any very accurate geographic information, you need a very good geodesy network. It's a bit technical, but the geodesy is the measurement of the Earth and the movement of Earth. And today, IGN has a very high-level expertise through one guy called Zouer Al-Tamimi, for example, which is the geodesy expert for United Nations to make sure that every country can share their geodetic information, especially with the climate change and all this stuff. So I just put some 2 different examples. One in Sudan that we have to install and to get some studies regarding the dams project, because they needed really accurate data. The money you save in a good geodesy will save a lot after for all the construction. We saw it a lot. Some guys in some country, private companies, they come, they want to make a bridge. Okay, they try to make the bridge, but the bridge falls down, so many problems, and they spend maybe 3-4 times the price of the bridge. Why? Because the data was not accurate at the beginning. So you can see me in a trip in the desert with my colleague from Saudi Arabia. So we install over there a course network of 16 stations. It's running well. Once again, it was in a technology transfer. 16 stations. We installed 4 stations with the local team. 8 stations, both mixed team, and 4 stations by themselves. Make sure that when we leave, they're able to continue and make their own station by themselves. Okay, so this is one of our main activity today, land registry, land assessment, land information system. I think that we have 3 people here who knows very well the project from Uganda, Tanzania, and Ethiopia, financed by the World Bank. So in Uganda, it was an implementation of a land information system with firstly a pilot phase, and now the rollout on the full country. In Tanzania also, we did the job, and we will finish very soon the pilot phase. In Ethiopia, or we work with the government to supervise and implement an urban land information system. In Ecuador, in Senegal, in Haiti. So today, this main activity for us allow us to go in other market in terms of land administration, and especially with the new recommendation from the big donors like World Bank about open source, web-based, we adapt the system of the customer needs, if I would say, because for me, the customer, the country is the king. It takes decision, and we follow it. It's not the same system that we have in France, but we can adapt ourselves and our experts. This is a big market for us also, the risk management. The main project we have is in Africa to monitor the land cover dynamics, especially for the forest, because we understood, and not us, but some countries understood that some bad things have been done with the forest in Africa. Some private company came and cut all the trees. So the French government financed a project to cover more than 3 million square kilometers. It's huge. In terms of satellite imagery, it's huge. But each country in the Congo Basin, so you see you have Guinea, Ivory Coast, Benin, and we work with them with a local team of experts that we train to make sure that they see the movement of the forest, to see what have been cut or not, where they should take decision to replant and so on. Of course, we work also with the European Union. We did what we call the classification for European Union, about more than 700 urban areas and 50,000 inhabitants. It's a database. It's a European Union project. We did also some land use and carbon storage model in Colombia and in Burkina Faso, so diachronic analysis also. This is a real need today for some countries, and especially in Africa. It's very related to the environment, agriculture and forest. This is the phase 2 of the project I talked to you before. And we also work in Egypt to see what will be the evolution of the city compared to the agricultural place. Because some cities are taking a lot of place now and agricultural reduce. So we gave some tools to the government to make sure that they take the good decision, the right decision. In Central America and in Burkina Faso too. I think you can download also the presentation. If you have any question, I will be happy to answer it. Another point is security, civil security, border and defense. Of course, in defense, we cannot speak too much about what we do for some customer. But there is a big topic right now all over the world regarding borders. Borders is a big issue right now. So there is 2 ways that IGNFI is working on border. The first one is to make once 2 countries are agree, it's easy for us. So we make what we say the physical border. We go in the desert with 5 centimeter accuracy, and we make the border. The other way we can work is if one country wants to not to set up a file about their own border and discuss with the other country to the United Nations, they need data. So we support one country to help them to make sure their data are available and accurate. So there is two kinds of business we can do with them. In Indonesia also, we did a creation of catastrophe management center like 10 years ago. I think that's it. I try to be fast, efficient, and to show you the full scope of IGNFI, and that's it.